Binto was a curious boy. He lived in a small village called Willow Creek. Willow Creek was a peaceful place. The houses were small and cozy. A gentle river flowed through the village. Binto loved to explore. He knew every nook and cranny of his village. He would often wander off looking for adventures. The villagers knew him well. One sunny afternoon, Binto was playing by the river. He saw something shiny under a willow tree. It was a small wooden box. Binto was curious. He opened the box carefully. Inside the box was an old map. It looked very old and valuable. The map showed a path leading into the Whispering Woods. Binto's eyes widened with excitement. This was the adventure he had been waiting for. Binto studied the map carefully. It showed a winding path through the woods. At the end of the path was a large X. Could this be the mark of a hidden treasure? Binto's heart beat faster. He knew the Whispering Woods could be dangerous, but he was determined to find the treasure. Binto packed a small bag. He put in some bread, cheese, and an apple. He also took his favorite book of fairy tales. He knew he would need his wits and courage. He put on his trusty boots. He grabbed his walking stick. He was ready for his adventure. He waved goodbye to his grandma. He set off towards the Whispering Woods. He felt excited and a little bit scared, but mostly he felt excited. He was ready to find the treasure. He was sure it would be a grand adventure. The Whispering Woods was a mysterious place. The trees were tall and thick. The sunlight struggled to reach the forest floor. Strange sounds filled the air. Binto felt a shiver run down his spine. He followed the path on his map carefully. He walked for hours. The path was narrow and winding. Thorns scratched at his arms. He had to duck under fallen branches. He saw strange and wonderful creatures. He saw a deer with large antlers. He saw a family of hedgehogs scurrying through the undergrowth. He saw a wise old owl perched on a branch, but he didn't find the treasure. The sun began to set. The forest grew darker and colder. Binto felt a pang of disappointment. Maybe the treasure was just a story. Just when Binto was about to give up, he saw something. It was a small white rabbit. The rabbit was sitting by the path, looking at him. The rabbit cleared its throat and spoke. "Lost, little one?" it squeaked. Binto was astonished. The rabbit could talk. "Yes," Binto said. "I'm looking for a treasure," the rabbit chuckled. "The treasure is closer than you think," it said. "Follow me, I know a secret." The rabbit hopped down a narrow path. Binto hesitated for a moment. He decided to trust the rabbit, after all. Talking rabbits were not an everyday occurrence. Binto followed the rabbit deeper into the woods. He wondered where the rabbit was taking him. He was sure this was part of the adventure. The rabbit led Binto to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a large oak tree. Under the oak tree was a wooden chest. It looked old and weathered. Could this be the treasure? Binto's heart pounded with anticipation. "Here it is," the rabbit said. "The treasure you seek." Binto ran to the chest. He lifted the heavy lid. He gasped in surprise. The chest was not filled with gold or jewels. It was filled with books. They were the most beautiful books Binto had ever seen. There were books of fairy tales, adventure stories, and books about faraway lands. Binto was overjoyed. He had always loved stories. This was the best treasure he could have imagined. The rabbit smiled. "Stories are the greatest treasures of all," it said. "They can take you on the most amazing adventures, all without leaving your chair." Binto carefully closed the chest. He thanked the rabbit for showing him the way. He knew he had found something truly special. He retraced his steps, his heart brimming with joy. He couldn't wait to share his treasure with everyone. He gathered the villagers in the village square. He opened the chest and shared the stories with everyone. The villagers were enchanted by the tales of brave knights, magical creatures, and faraway lands. Binto realized that sharing these stories brought him more joy than finding them. He learned a valuable lesson that day. True treasures are not always gold and jewels. Sometimes the greatest treasures are the stories we share and the kindness we show to others. And so, Binto continued to explore not for material treasures but for the magic in every moment and the stories that filled his heart with joy.